I had one of the fastest career progressions as a software engineer, going from a junior to a manager in only 3 years, and I still decided to quit to pursue entrepreneurship. And this series is all about me getting to $1 billion. We're currently sitting at just shy of $10 million in annually recurring revenue. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So as always, we're going to start with our YouTube Q&A. Oops, let me get the marker. Where I'm going to answer your guys' questions that you left in the form of comments. So if you want me to answer your question, please leave a comment down below. I get to all of them at the beginning of each video. Then we're going to get into the topic of today's video, which is how to master software engineering. And last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about strategy, talk about what the plan is for the main channel as well as this channel. Now, for those of you who don't know me and this is your first time seeing me, my name is Bago, and this is my second channel. I started off as this guy right here in the robotics team back in 2017, where we won the Los Angeles Regional Championship. From then on, I went into UCLA, part of the Elegant Minds Club, to research the human consciousness. And then I went into NASA as a computer engineer. And then I joined the Fortune 500 as a 9-to-5 software engineering consultant, where I consulted for some of these companies, a lot more than this, about total in like 21 companies I consulted for. A lot of these were at the same time as well. And decided to quit to pursue my own venture, AB Analytics. This is the consulting firm that I run to this day. Now, I skipped a lot of wins and that's even more losses. To find out about all of those, you can head to bgo.code2ceo.com to learn more about that later. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So, let's start with the YouTube Q&A first and foremost. This is the most important part and actually one of my favorite parts of the videos. So let's refresh. We've got 2 comments today. Christian says, if you played video games like me, no de-stress, full sweat season, pay to win or don't play at all. Yeah, I definitely did not play video games to like enjoy myself. The competition for me was the enjoyment. I'm a competitive guy. And I would say more often than not, I would probably get stressed more from the video game, especially, as opposed to like enjoying myself, especially when it came to League. I don't even want to think about how to get PTSD. Okay. VSP asks, how did you master the abilities of thinking with clarity and articulating your thoughts with conciseness, especially during abstract or complex situations? Amazing question, VSP. So, since I am a data guy, I do have a data analytics firm, right? It's not crazy that I'm going to say feedback. But what type of feedback, you might ask? Well, any type of video that I even make in these YouTube videos, I always go back and watch over it. So I always record myself, or at least I keep track of what I'm saying in real time. Okay? In other words, I gather data. And I use that data to see how I can improve. For example, if I notice that I'm using a word and I'm constantly overusing it because I don't know another word that's synonymous to it, I'll think of that. I'm like, okay, I use this word way too much. Let me get another synonym for it. So at least I have a little bit of more vocab that I can use with other people. Or let's say I'm stuttering or I'm saying like a lot or this and that. I'll watch over it and it'll make a note of myself. Wow, I used or like 53 times in this video. I really got to cut it down. Next time I'm recording the video, I'll consciously keep that in mind. Like, oh, I just said like, I can't use it again. Come on, keep that in mind. And over time, I do that so many times until it becomes second nature and I don't have to repeat it again. I get over that. Some things take longer than others. Obviously, that's just how it works. But you do this every single day. You try to improve every single day and you'll get there. Your question had an interesting nuance. It said, during abstract or complex situations, you can't always recreate an abstract or complex situation because it's in a definition. It's abstract for a reason. Thus, the best way you can prepare for such things is, there's a saying, right? If you have to fight in the rain, train in the storm, I believe that's how it goes. You do the same exact thing. If you have to, let's say, talk with a bunch of individuals at a specific event, if you're hosting a webinar, even if you're just doing a small presentation to just a few people at work, right? Whatever the case, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, you need to imagine yourself doing it at scale around 10 to 100 times bigger. Because what's crazy, not many people realize, my most popular video on my main channel got about 937,000 views, around that range. For reference, if I was standing in front of 900,000 people and giving a speech, I would not be able to give a speech like I did back then in that video. I mean, now I most likely will be able to. I'm confident in my skills, but nevertheless, I definitely would stutter a lot because imagine 900,000 people staring at you. Hell, even most of these big auditoriums that you see, it's 50,000 to 100,000 people max that holds them, right? So always train on a bigger stage if you're gonna play at a smaller one. So no matter what stage you're gonna play on, 10x to 100x it and play at that. And I cannot say this enough, but gather data. Everything you do, this just isn't even about articulation and talking. I even recommend this for, let's say, something as abstract as going to the gym. Actually keep track of what weights you're lifting. Keep track how many times you're lifting those weights, such that the next time you go, you can progressively overload. Same exact thing here. Keep track of the vocab you're using. Keep track of how many ums, likes, and other things you say throughout your conversation and what you need to improve. As long as you track it and you get feedback, you can always improve it day by day. And what you might not realize is that over the course of, let's say, 90 days, you can make a vast impact on your vocab and just in general, your mannerisms and your speech. So I'm giving this advice with regards to clarity and articulating your thoughts, but you can apply this to literally anything. The key lies in gathering data. So record yourself talking or giving presentations, or always watch them back and see how you can improve. Even watching one recording back will help you immensely. This is the biggest 2080 in life. And if you say you don't have any recordings or whatever the case, get an app on your phone where you record phone calls, or just if you're going to go to a meeting or something, just record it anyways. Even most of you that are working at a corporate 9 to 5 will have Teams recordings. Watch through it and see how many times you say like, or whatever the case, and always try to make yourself better. So I appreciate the question, VSP. Let me heart that as well. Alrighty, let me make sure there's no more. Probably not, but let me double check. Alrighty, perfect. So with that, let's get to the main topic of today's video, which is how to master software engineering. Now, when I say master, what do most of you think? Right off the top of your head, you'll probably think, well, master would be I become an architect, or I become a FANG employee, or I become a software engineer where everything I touch turns into gold, having the Midas touch, or like those 10x programmers you see in those movies. Believe it or not, that's not what I consider master software engineering. You see, I've seen a lot of technically adept software engineers. In fact, when I was a manager, I was managing these software engineers. They were people in their 50s, late 40s, and they were wizards. There wasn't a single technical problem that I could ask them that they wouldn't know, especially pertaining to their skill set. So to me, they always felt like wizards. But I always asked myself on a fundamental level, why is it that I'm making more money than some of them? How can that be? How can I, who has less than half their life experience, let alone technical experience, am able to make more money than them? How is that possible? And I realized, I'm like, because software engineering isn't only about technical ability. Now, software engineering in general, or computer science in general, it's relatively technical in detail, because when you go to university, you study for 4 years, you learn all about technical details. You learn about algorithms, right? You learn about big O notation, all these things. And just then I said, and I made a note of it, so next time I'm gonna try to not say it, but that's what I mean, right? So practicing what I preach. So even though everything is so technical reliant, you start to realize that, especially in a 9 to 5 environment, technical is the least important thing. What I mean by this is, if you look at most startups, right? Oops, let me do that. Most startups, and hell, not even startups, even just 9 to 5 at FANG, most projects fail, most disputes stem from communication issues. Never from technical issues. Now, you might say, well, what about legacy code? What about improper documentation? What about all these things? That's not a technical issue. That's a communication issue. People don't understand that communication isn't only oral, right? It's not just verbal. It's written down as well. Communication can be through the form of writing things down, through the form of documentation, right? So when people see those things and they say there's so much legacy code, they created a bus factor, there's no documentation, it's all over the place, we don't know how to fix it, that's not technical ability, that's communication, frankly. Technical ability would be something, let's say, like a big O notation, like if you're able to make something run more efficiently, or if you're able to write something in less lines of code, right? If you're able to make something that nobody else was able to do, and you were able to create a solution for that, that would be technical ability. In general, with the way that these FANG companies like pay people, right, their actual salary that they offer, almost everybody has met that baseline technical ability. Because guess what? There is no way in hell you are passing those 4 to 5 rounds of technical interviews without having some type of technical knowledge. Even if you somehow manage to cheat your way into it, within a few months you might get fired. right? So there has to be a technical base that you already have. And most individuals, most software engineers, I mean, don't doubt yourself, guys. You're pretty far up on the IQ bell curve, right? So if the average is here, a lot of you individuals are in this quadrant if you're a software engineer, especially if you're working at Fing. If you're working at Fing, you're probably around here, right? So you're definitely not stupid. And that's not the reason why the project might be failing or people might be pinning stuff on you. Mastering software engineering is really about mastering communication. Communication. But more specifically than that, it's about combining the technical with the non-technical. The best way I can explain this is if we denote technical individuals like this. Once again, don't judge me for my drawing abilities, right? I am, at the end of the day, software engineer. So let's assume, can I change the color on this? I can. Let's assume the technical guy has red glasses. And then let's assume the non-technical guy has green glasses. Okay? Or lenses, however you want to call them. If I give both of them something to take a look at, let's say it is a picture of a car, right? The guy in the green glasses is going to see this as green because his lenses are green. The guy in the technical glasses, the red glasses, is going to see this as red. So he's going to say red, he's going to say green, and they're going to call each other, you're dumb, no, you're dumb, this is green, no, it's red, and they're going to argue. This is obviously oversimplified, a little bit of a straw man argument, but this is in general how it works. Between managers and non-technical individuals, between managers and technical individuals, and just the general consensus of technical to non-technical. A lot of the times, non-technical individuals will ask for, let's say, crazy demands, or they will ask crazy things of the technical developers to meet certain requirements that are simply not feasible in that amount of time, right? They'll invest a lot of money into it, but it's almost always, right? All the over-engineering, everything that stems from that is a communication gap between the non-technical and the technical folks. So to master software engineering, it's really all about mastering the communication between the non-technical individuals and the technical individuals. If you can very clearly explain to a non-technical individual the complete outlook of your solution, how long it's going to take, what is possible, right? And how much it's going to cost. If you can explain every single one of these details in such a manner that the non-technical individual will understand, and they won't try to rush you, they won't do all these things, then you will not have any issues. If you can properly teach the non-technical individuals how to properly document, how to properly write code, how to properly leave things such that there is no buzz factor created. When somebody leaves, everything doesn't come crashing down, right? A master software engineer can do both of these. A master software engineer can talk to both individuals and understand them. A master software engineer can connect both of them together. And this is what it means to master software engineering. A lot of individuals will talk about the coding aspect of it. Are you a good problem solver? Are you thinking from first order principles? Yes, don't get me wrong, that is all still important. But those skills, in my opinion, technical skills, are a lot easier to learn. And not only to learn, but also to actually get better and better at. However, abstract skills such as communication, because what does communication entail? I mean, it encompasses a bunch of things. How do you go about becoming a better communicator, right? Even what I talked about, you might be in your head, okay, but how do I go and do this actually? So let's talk about that now. But understand that this is what a master software engineer is. When I was a manager in my early 20s and I was managing individuals in their late 50s, right? Late 40s, early 50s, technically speaking, they were way better than me. But I had the ability to actually communicate between non-technical and technical individuals, and I was able to talk with both technical folks and the non-technical folks. And I was able to make all the projects more efficient. I was able to make the software engineers make more money by working less hours, and everybody was walking away happy from the projects themselves. That's what a master software engineer is. Now, I'm not saying I'm a master software engineer. I believe I'm a good software engineer, but I have seen actual masters at play. So I'm far from a master. Now let's get into how you can actually improve your communication skills as a software engineer. Because fundamentally speaking, you sort of have to adjust the way you view the world. Let's refer back to this diagram over here. If you remember, I denoted the technical individuals with the red glasses. I denoted non-technical individuals with the green glasses. What you have to do as a software engineer is understand first and foremost, you're wearing red glasses. And you need to understand that the other person is wearing green glasses. So then the question you have to ask is, what color is the car? Right? Is it red? Is it green? Is it black? Is it white? What color is it? Am I the one who's right? Is he the one who's right? Are both of us wrong and neither of us are right? The most fundamental thing is that self-awareness. It's a self-awareness of understanding where you are, where you're coming from. It's the awareness of understanding what the other individual is talking about, and also fundamentally the problem that you're looking at. That's how you're going to improve your communication. You first look inwards and you listen, right? First part of communication is listening. Make sure you have all the information within your hand and you listen. And the second part about communication is you need to over-communicate. This does not mean you say what can be said in one sentence in 1,000 sentences. This means you act as sort of a reminder. Meaning, what does over-communicate mean? Let's say in my firm. Over-communication means people update me daily. Every single day they update me on what they did. Every time they have a question, they ask me. No matter how stupid or dumb the question, they always ask me. They don't sit on it. Because when we sit on questions, bad things happen, right? We over-communicate. We talk when maybe in our mind we would say, maybe we shouldn't, right? Maybe they'll think less of us, or they'll do this, or they'll do that. We always over-communicate everything. Also, after every single meeting, sure, we have AI note takers now, but we'll still send our own takeaways from that meeting. Why? Because we like to over-communicate. We always want to make sure everybody has everything they need to get to where they want to get to. We don't want to have a situation where we're going to be rather, sorry rather than safe. So you always want to be safe rather than sorry in this manner. So to get better as a communicator, as a software engineer, to become that master software engineer, your technical skills right now, especially most of you watching, your mid to senior level devs, are going to be relatively good. You need to work on your communication skills. Understand first and foremost what color lens you're wearing, because you are 100% wearing some other colored lens, and understand the individuals that you're working with, what color lens they're wearing. A lot of the times, the technical folks will bicker about, it's not possible, we need more time, blah, 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 blah. The non-technical folks will be like, it's all about the money, we need to manage the money properly, get this done, get that done in this amount of time. You need to understand who is right from the perspective of what this thing's color is. So you need to take a look at things from an eagle's eye point of view. And that's how you become a master communicator. And the best way to do that is to actually just listen. Listening is literally the only thing you really need to do to become a good communicator. Because as long as you listen and you don't just wait for your turn to talk, you fundamentally listen, understand, gather data, from then you can move forward. So that was my little rant on how to become a master software engineer. Or in this specific case, how to master software engineering, because I would say both are relatively similar. Most people think software engineering is all about technicalities and technical ability. It is far from it. Trust me, I've been in the startup game for a while now. I've seen a lot of tech businesses come and go. And the number one reason is because of the communication issues I just described. If you as a software engineer, with your coding background, with your technical ability, are able to properly communicate between technical and non-technical people, you will, I guarantee you, be a millionaire. There is no way in hell that you pass away without millions of dollars. Just how it is. Next, let's get into strategizing. So you probably already noticed from the thumbnail of this video, we finally landed on a thumbnail style. So congrats to us. What we're going to be doing is moving forward, I should say, we're going to be using that thumbnail. So I'm probably going to have to go back to all of these videos and change those, right? And for the main channel as well, we're going to be logging in on a thumbnail style as well, so you'll see that coming up. But for this channel, it will be that specific thumbnail from then on. Outside of that, there was one more thing that I needed to... Oh, wow. 8 seconds ago. I'm going to leave this for tomorrow. Actually, I'm not going to look at it. I already spoiled it. I read the comment, but it's fine. I'll read it for tomorrow's video. Outside of that, what else was I going to say? I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Excuse me if I'm a little hyper. I've been working all day, and when I work a lot, I get overhyped. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I will see all of you guys tomorrow. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.